Hello guys, this is Shayon from Simplex, and today we are going to have the graphic card benchmark shootout for Tom Clancy's The Division. Now before I show the benchmarks, I'd like to say the game has been run on the Ultra preset, the Ultra graphics preset with VSync obviously disabled. So without wasting any more time, let's get into the benchmarks. First up are the 1920 into 1080 benchmarks, like I said, in the Ultra preset. What you can see over here is that from Nvidia's side you need a GTX 970, and from AMD's side you will need an R9 390 to run the game at 60 FPS smooth. Also, something that we need to notice is if you have a GTX 960 or similarly from AMD's side an R9 380 or lower, you will basically have to be happy with 30 FPS, 40 FPS. But if you want to really get the 60 FPS, you'll need to crank down the settings. That's more or less it from the full HD benchmarks. It's kind of balanced between Team Green and Team Red. Next up, 2560 into 1440p benchmarks. Now in the 2560 and 1440p benchmarks, you guys can see that from Team Green you need GTX 980 Ti, and from Team Red you need an R9 Fury X to play the game in 60 FPS, because this game happens to be very demanding on the graphic card. Other than that, it's more or less balanced between Team Green and Team Red, like I said again. And again, this time if you have a GTX 970 or a 980 or a 960 or likewise for AMD and you want to play the game at 1440p, you will need to crank down the settings. That is just how it is for this game. Now after the 1440p settings, usually we show the 4K settings, but we decided to avert it for this particular game because even the 980 Ti gets a mere 35 FPS at 4K. So unless you're rocking a 980 Ti SLI setup, there's no point going for the 4K benchmarks. Now let's talk about the optimization of this game. Well, this game is not perfectly optimized, but it is much better than many other games out there. Having said that, the graphics are simply gorgeous, guys. Now many people did complain about the E3 footage having better graphics, or so they thought, because for me the graphics is already crazy good. And yes, I use the term crazy good because it actually looks pretty darn good, guys. And I'm talking about actual gameplay footage. As you can see, the characters are well detailed, the environment is awesome, and there's a ton of fog and smoke and all sorts of other particle effects going on in the game. And the effects are much better optimized than say something like Arkham Knight was, with its, the smoke particles or the fog particles with which you could interact, or interactive fog for that matter. So yes, The Division, I would say, gets an 8 out of 10 for the optimization. It can be improved, so hopefully Ubisoft is going to, push out timely updates to fix all the remaining glitches that they have, and hopefully we will be able to see a little bit better, and they'll be able to squeeze out a little bit more performance out of all the graphic cards out there. Thank you guys, over and out.